just really low. With Blade will finish him off. He gets the hop over the wall with the broken wing. And now focus on Aslan. Grand Challenge is up. Aslan will not last long. There's the flash from Excavate now. And now a good fails the Seoul University. Still got the break, and here comes the fight. One time is on. Look at the stupidity and strategy on the strategy of the fight.
Flash away as Arc goes for the back line. And then the standing on the of that equalizer gets equalized instead. Will be waiting.
What is up, fam, as we head into Game 4 of the Low Collegiate League, powered by Lenovo. But before anything else, we are, of course, your shoutcasters. This is Arctic at your service, and with me is Atlas. So, yeah, I mean, pretty intense games that we've had so far. Definitely a lot of action, I'd say, in comparison to the previous weekend. But wow, University of Cordilleras, let's talk about that for just a bit.
That last game, it seemed like both teams were making such huge mistakes, but in the end, it was UC was able to make the mistakes of the other team to their advantage, leading to the win. The most notable thing really is how they played that last fight. They were just sneaking around in the jungle of Adamson University, and then just around everything. Once they found an opportunity where they could engage, where Dazai was separated from the rest of the team, they just went on it straight up with Mob leading the charge.
There you go. And of course, we'll just have to see if it's a continuing trend. You know, again, University of Cordilleras, they were in this position. They were in the same predicament earlier during Game 1 and Game 2, wherein they won the first game. They faltered off in the second game when Malayan College, Laguna, released some very interesting pocket picks which worked in their favor. So we'll just have to see if it's the same trend for them, if they could break that pseudo curse-ish of going 1-1, if they could finally secure that first 2-0 of the group. But yeah, we'll just have to see how that goes for them. And of course, we have more games up ahead. Of course, this is just Game 4. Next, for Game 5 and Game 6, it is actually going to be Malayan College's Laguna coming back versus... But anyways, yeah, before anything else, we're going to be heading into the pick and ban phase. Hold that thought right there. Orion actually going to be banned out, bro, and the Kled as well. Finally, some respect for Mob's Kled.
It's going to be taken away from him as well. And really, they are doing, UC is doing a lot to shut down GC's champion pool, taking away the Oriana. Of course, with a team fighting group playstyle like theirs, the Oriana can just shut them down with a Shockwave. The Zedos, of course, can take away key targets from UC, and of course, Adamson's going to taking away. And of course, the Kled plus the Lulu has done so much in UC's games. And in general, Lulu is such a great pick, and then banning it out is actually a very good choice. First pick for University of Cordilleras, immediately going for a Caitlyn. Very safe, not a lot of information given away to Adamson by first picking that very safe AD carry. We're going to see if they actually complete their bot lane in the first rotation of picks.
Exactly. And, you know, it's actually interesting because it looks like they'll be sticking to what they know in a way. Sky actually did pretty well on that Caitlyn. You know, he got that last clash that they had where he just auto attack, you know, got some free hit like there's no tomorrow. So, you know, good on UC to kind of stick with what works for them. You know, why fix something that isn't broken?
On the other hand, it's going to be Adamson taking away the Karma from the Caitlyn. Very good takeaway here. Because Caitlyn and Karma, yeah, that's not a lane that you want to face against, considering the other popular AD carries, Varus, Ashe, Lucian. Those have such a hard time against the Caitlyn-Karma combination. Plus, they take Worf with their Lee Sin. Really, they want to get this early game pressure out immediately. On the other hand, University of Cordilleras locks in quite a solid front line. If they do lock this in, it will be the Gragas can flex it in the top lane or the jungle. And of course, the Thresh there in the bot lane means that it's going to be a quite safe Scythe here. And as well, the CC coming from the Death Sentence, the Flay, the Box. It all combines to make such a good kit for the support. Very safe, very consistent support. Responded to by the Rumble top lane as well. It's actually whether Rumble picking that in this rotation is actually a good idea, because it does perform well against the Gragas and can hold its own against most other top lane picks. Second rotation for bans here. Still, LeBlanc taken away from Jissy, Talia, locked away from Cry. So the mid lane focus is really strong here
Exactly.
for UC and Adamson.
Definitely a lot of respect. Like I mentioned, Cry is somewhat of a player to look out for on University of Cordilleras. Although, then again, based on all the games that we've seen from UC, actually most of the members have been shining pretty well. You know, a lot of them showing up. You know, we couldn't just peg it on one person. It's definitely a group effort. But yeah, let's go ahead and check out ADU right here, hovering over this Ashe. Will this be a lock? And you know, it's interesting actually. They're kind of taking a few picks. They're learning a few tricks from Game 1 and Game 2 earlier. You know, the Lee Sin, the Karma, the Ashe as well. So we'll
lots of utility from that. Combined with the Karma, it's going to be a world of hurt here later in the game with a level 6 spike of the Enchanted Crystal Arrow combined with a natural burst from Soul Flare in the Inner Flame. It's actually very effective and safe bot lane. But on the other hand, University of Cordillera is sticking to their guns. Seems like it will be a top lane Jungle Gragas with top lane Fiora and mid lane Vladimir. And this is still consistent with their playstyle as they have quite a solid front line, and they have 3 of these champions DPS can really just charge in. That's going to be the Fiora and the Vladimir with Scythe just free hitting away from the backside.
Oh man, this is going to be very interesting. You know, we've seen, what's interesting is that we've actually seen quite a lot of Fiora in the Interconference stage. We've seen TIP use it. I believe it was it was Vince as well from last weekend that used it as well to great efficiency. So we'll just have to see if Mob will live up to the expectations, whether he's going to go the Vince route where he just does absolutely stellar, carries the team towards the mid lane game, or is it going to go a little bit towards the TIP route where it just kind of didn't show any form of relevance throughout the game.
It might have an easier time against Dazai's Rumble because being able to dance around that Rumble with a kit that Fiora has means that 1, you get the Vitals pop, and 2, you dodge quite a bit of damage from the Flame Spitter. But of course, it's going to be up to Dazai to play that lane correctly. It's going to be up to Akinos and Orf to actually pressure their team. For the mid lane, I think the junglers can opt to leave them alone post level 6, and because Orf is going to have a harder time ganking Cry, then Akinos is going to have a harder time ganking Jissy, because Sanguine Pool is available for Cry. So if it's going to be a gank, it's going to be before that. Maybe rush to level 2, get that gank onto, but it's way too risky.
Indeed.
But Akinos can just, before level 6, the mobility coming from the Ahri is limited to the speed boost from the Orb of Deception. And with a Body Slam Flash, that could be one way they can take that first blood.
Exactly. You know, we'll just have to see how it plays out for them. But looks like, ladies and gents, without further ado, we are going to be heading into Summoner's Rift for Game 4 between University of Cordilleras versus Adamson University, represent from both North Luzon and Metro West Conference, respectively. So, of course, before anything else, before we head into the nitty-gritty of the action, for our Search and Win winner earlier, the question was, how many Farsight tokens are there in the game from Game 3, actually? And that was, the correct answer is 4. And, of course, many congratulations to Junar de Guzman, but hold that thought. Looks like we're going to see some action.
An invade here. Simone dodges the death sentence very nicely.
That's going to be quite the information for both sides.
It's actually more information for UC. Because they are the invading team, they get more information. They do now have an idea that Orf will be starting there in the blue buff side for Adamson, while on the other hand, Akinos can still have a little more freedom with his clear. Seems like he will be starting both bot side, really adjusting their pathing to focus on that top lane. Because if Dazai gets ahead, it's going to be such a painful barbecue with the equalizer. But on the other hand, if Mob gets ahead, it's going to slice him apart into kebabs.
Speaking of adjustments, another thing that I noticed here is actually Akinos. You know, we've seen him a lot on a lot of carry-oriented champions, like the Graves, I believe he also was a lot of, so to see him on a Gragas.
Aggressive, yeah. Really carry junglers, and yeah, being on the Gragas is more of a tanky frontliner, being able to pressure. It's actually quite weird seeing him on that, but seeing as their composition is actually very geared towards carrying, yes. I don't think they need another one.
Exactly, that's true. So I actually like this adjustment from Akinos because it just goes to show, again, it all comes down to the respect and the trust that you have in your teammates. So Akinos, you know, with the plays that he made earlier, there's definitely a lot of trust in the other carries for the game.
Oh, going for it immediately.
There we go. Akinos actually going to go in onto GC. Will he be able to get the kill though? Whoa, that's a very hefty kill right there, but unfortunately, Ignite won't be enough to take down GC. Will be able to escape with a slither of health.
That's actually so bad for Cry, because you burned both Flash and Ignite. On the other hand, Orf didn't burn his flash, and Jissy didn't burn his ignite. So the next fight that happens here in the mid lane, it will be favored to Jissy. Even with him being taken down so low, the safeguard really saved him here. And here in the bot lane, seems like UC, Skype, and Hong want to go for a little bit of an aggressive side here to Thresh on that ignite. If they go for an all-in that's favorable to them with like a good death sentence, then that ignite is going to pick them up that first blood.
Oh yeah, definitely, and especially, you know, we have seen quite a lot of great aggression, and just the laning phase in general for both Skythe and Hong was pretty good. So I'm actually interested in seeing how that'll play out for them, whether we'll be seeing that same trend in a way. But looks like Aquino spotting out Orb here. Orb still managing to get that, but
denies
that's
a safeguard.
Oh no, we'll be able to blasting cone out of there though. So very well on Orb. Mission accomplished, mission impossible-ish.
Being able to get smoothly out. He was denied the safeguard, but still had a blast cone to help him out. Gonna be Cry and GC spawning it out there in the mid lane, and I really like how both of these junglers are playing. They're proactive.
Indeed.
Orf is going for these invades. On the other hand, Akinos is always looking for resources to take away from Orf, plus try to get these flashes. Broady Slam flash plays here. Actually getting some revenge for that invade. Actually, more important here for UC here, getting that ward vision in that path near the Raptors means that there's more information for UC than that little ward over near the Gromp and blue buff for Adamson.
Exactly, you know, it just allows UC to grant them an extra precaution as to, depending on where Orf is on the map, whether they could go full on aggressive. Especially looking at this lanes here, there's definitely a lot of potential for that. But looks like Mob and Dazai, I actually like that. Mob, you know, knowing very well that Dazai has that self debuff and gets that silence, gets a little bit of focus on, but still not quite enough.
Ooh. Really effective with the vitals here, getting that sustain up, but of course Dazai with that flame spitter empowered by the overheat.
Oh, that's gonna be the hook connecting onto Omni. That's gonna be Ignite as well. Simone forced to crack the wheel, but will this be enough? Skeet trying to get the kill, but that is indeed gonna be the first blood. Auto attack from Hong.
Unfortunate for UC that Hong was the one to take it, but of course it is first blood, more gold, and a little lead for Skype here. Might actually snowball the more he can just get these free hits on that sniper Caitlyn. Yeah. And Cry, of course, very survivable in the mid lane. Even if he gets charmed, even if he gets bursted down. Ignite is there, but of course Ignite is also going to be off cooldown very soon. For now, he's just playing it very safe, sustaining himself up, matching the CS coming from this Ahri. Mob might get dove here. He does have flash. A little bit of regeneration from his passive if he pops that vital, but he's in a little bit of duress here.
Yes, and especially not even at level 6 yet, so that would have been very tricky had Orf and Dazai actually continue that.
Seems like pings coming off to Orf here. They know that he's around that area still, but doesn't seem like he's going to rotate for a dive. And this gives a lot of time for Akinos to take these wolves. Actually, Adamson knows that the wolves are being taken, so Orf tries to go for a little bit of a sneaky play here in the mid lane. He does have the Sanguine Pool to dodge a lot of damage.
There we go. Cry actually handling that like a champ. Didn't really hurt that much.
Look at just the sustain coming from the Vladimir here.
And
oh man, this might be a dive against Orf here. He's only level 4. It's going to be Jissy as well. This might actually be a pick-off.
oh, this is going to be very interesting. Orf will be
the
saying,
ward does save him.
unfortunately.
Being able to ward that does save him. The death sentence does not hit, does not pay off, but still, that is some time spent by UC, but not too much. If that's a right play to go for, actually, but it didn't really pay off for them in the end.
I mean, like, if you're going to compare it, though, I mean, the information that UC has been getting because of Orf, you know, he's been revealing himself a lot, if not during kill guys, but hold that thought right there. That's going to be enough. Connecting on to Simone once again. They are trying to take him down really fast, but here comes the teleports coming in. We'll cancel at the same time. But yeah, good attempt there from UC.
That's going to chunk Simone very low, though. Going to give Skype a little bit more freedom.
Oh, no, Cry. Will he be able to survive this? That is going to be the Ignite. Very dangerous. GC eventually getting the kill.
That was Ignite burnt there by GC. And really, that's one of the dangers of facing up against. Even if you are that Vladimir with so much sustain in fights, if you get ignited, it's going to be so hard for you to survive that. And him being hit by the charm makes it all the much worse.
Oh, yeah.
So he really needs to be a little more mindful of how much damage GC can do. He does have that sustain naturally, but if you're half health and you get that Ignite on you, that transfusion is not going to help you.
Okay, let's just see how this will play out. Both top laners now at level 6, so yeah, I mean, it's all up to Orf and Akinos at this point. You know, this is actually, I mean, we have seen some attempts at some ganks, some plays being made, but as far as them actually translating the kills, it's actually slower pace in comparison to the previous.
Yeah, being able to match, I think Akinos has been having a lot more pressure here. He's been making these proactive ganks. On the other hand, Orf, he does try for a little gank, but with no real follow-up from his team. The thing here is, Akinos can just chill. If he doesn't get the ganks early, of course he's putting out a lot of pressure, but if he doesn't get the kills early, that's fine. He can function with that Cinderhawk with his own kit to be a frontline, have some disruption with explosive gas. On the other hand, if Orf does not get ahead, if he doesn't snowball, if he doesn't get more kills, then that Lee Sin pick is going to taper off very, very soon, much sooner than usual for Adamson.
Yeah, I would say indeed. So we'll just have to see how this goes for both Adamson and University of Cordilleras. You know, it's still very early on, but then again, if I have to peg it on a composition, the thing though with University of Cordilleras is I feel like there's a lot more pressure for them to snowball in a way, just because if you're going to compare ADU, again ADU with a little bit more of a well-rounded composition, they have engage tools, they have ways of, it's pretty much all around, as opposed to UC. It's pretty much all or nothing. Their only form of disengage would be the ultimate from Akinos, but other than that, but then again, we'll just have to see. It depends on how good.
Yeah, it does, but if neither of these teams snowball in the mid game, it's actually going to hurt Scythe so much. But when come late game, when Cry has farmed up, when Mob has farmed up his complete items, Adamson's going to have a hard time. It's going to be Hong trying to go for a gank here.
Three-man gank, though. That's going to be the hook, though. Connecting. Will GC be able to escape, though? Enchanted Crystal Arrow to save. But looks like Orf will be getting the kill onto Akinos instead. There goes Cry, gets the Sanguine full. Will he be able to escape this though? Cry trying to do what he can, but gets damage onto Orf. Orf trying to walk away from this too. Very low health members from AD. Unfortunately, that is going to be the equalizer. Not in the best position for UC, but still, UC very, very low health on both sides there. But Dazai looks like showing up in this fight right here. ADU seeking to get the kill onto Cry, but wow, this is definitely going very south real quick for UC. Guys trying to get some tight on, forced to flash away though. Hong as well, that's going to be the heal popped up, but still, job well done for Adamson University.
Such a messy fight from both teams, but again, it's going to be Adamson in the lead there because UC overcommitted. Even with the teleports coming down, even with the pings that Adamson's bot lane was coming on their way, they still went for it. It cost them 2 deaths here. It's going to put their timer for scaling. It's going to set back their deadline. It's going to set back their scaling here.
Yeah, it's a 2-4 now on the scoreboard. Adamson University showing a little bit more bravado as opposed to earlier. But then again, University of Cordilleras, it's actually interesting because we've been talking about how University of Cordilleras excels at mind games earlier as opposed to their decision making. And looking at the composition that University of Cordilleras has, they don't really have as much room for those type of mind games that they did earlier.
Yeah, it's more on how they need to be able to rotate and get the team fights correctly. But it seems now Adamson taking advantage of how UC just overcommitted in that tower dive.
There we go. Looks like Adamson University trying to decide if whether they're going to go for this Infernal Drake. You know, that amplified damage always welcome regardless of what side you are.
Especially for Jissy and Dazai there. If they get an Infernal Drake, that equalizer and those assassinations coming from UC will be much more potent. It seems like they will actually try and get it. There are pings coming from UC to contest it. But the vision control is all on Adu's side, but still the threat of having that bot lane and Akinos collapse on them might be too much. So they do pull off. Seems like they're still going to try and go for it, pulling out of the pit. Seems like UC, will they try to contest this? They do have a lot of tools possible.
That's going to be the charm. Unfortunately, Enchanted Crystal Arrow actually connects, and that is going to be Orf getting the kill onto Akinos. Only 2 members of UC trying to walk away from this. GC getting the kill. Now on a killing spree. Skies will be the next to fall, and that is going to be 3 kills plus the dragon.
UC still showing that their decision-making when it comes to these epic monsters is still questionable. They stayed too far long and were hesitating to pull the trigger that it gave enough time for Adamson's bot lane to get that really good Enchanted Crystal Arrow into the engage that they wanted. And then that gets them 3 kills. With 2 of those, which went to their mid laner, GC, making him 303. It's going to be so hard here because now he has Morellonomicon, which means that the healing coming from Mob, his ultimate, the Grand Challenge, is going to be cut in half, as well as Cry's natural healing from the Transfusion. And all of that combined makes it so hard for the University of Cordilleras here. And really, they need to be able to fix their shot calling when it comes to the actual objective.
But here comes Hong, actually gets the connect onto Reeling right here. That is going to be Akinos. Beautiful ult right there. Reeling might actually be the first to go down, gets the kill, going to Akinos. Yeah, it looks like they'll be contenting with just 1 kill for now.
That's just 1 kill though, and that's going to be actually a lot of resources burnt just for the support here. It's a kill, and but it does go to Akinos. That's not the best target. He is a tank. He can function with just assists. If Skype doesn't get the kills he needs, it's going to be so hard. It's going to be difficult.
Ooh, hook attempt on the Dwarf right there. It looks like goes for the Lantern instead, but very good. An interesting attempt, but not really as effective. 3 and 7 on the scoreboard right now. But yeah, again, I gotta commend AC. I was kind of worried for them after seeing their performance in that game 1, but finally they're showing some bravado, showing up as to why they are the first seed of the Metro West Conference.
Yeah, and then they're really recovering from what happened last game. Now they're the ones to really shut down the decisions from University of Cordilleras. They're the ones to hit the weaknesses, go for the all-out attacks. So Adamson here,
ooh, Enchanted Crystal Arrows
almost hitting him. The 2k gold lead at this point is actually big. In terms of the scaling, Scythe is behind because Fiora and Vladimir need some time to scale up. On the other hand, this is the peak of... we're reaching a few minutes from mid-game, which is the peak of power for these Assassins and Lee Sin.
The question is, will they be able to translate this to anything given
That's another
that?
gank
But here we
for
go, Hong, will he be able to get the hook? Connects onto Simone right there. This is going to be quite explosive right now. Simone very low on health, will be going down, but here comes Dazai, going to go for the response. Might actually be able to get Keith, but looks like Skype is actually running away. Reeling actually going on. This is going to be Mob trying to clean up onto the Karma right here, as Dazai might actually be the next casualty as 3 members total. But no, actually still Dazai lives until the tail, but ultimately kill going to Akinos. That is going to be a 1 for 3 in favor of University of Cordillera.
That actually resets the gold lead a little bit and gives a few kills going on to Mob there. Actually, it's pretty good for the scaling. And Cry being able to free farm here in the mid lane means that it's going to be quicker. But still, I don't know what happened there. Dazai should have put down the equalizer much earlier. The fight was happening for so long in that brush that an equalizer would have just made it that entire team fight 1 for them. But since he put it out too late when it's already alone, means that he doesn't get a lot of damage value or control value from that equalizer, and it's just wasted. That gives UC some time to recuperate and get the gold.
In all fairness to Adamson University, good on Orf because they were able to get the outer top turret as a consolation prize almost, but still, looks like wow, Orf actually potentially going for this Rift Herald. And I don't actually,
yeah, he can actually get the solo on this because Safeguard, playing around with the Safeguard and the eye of the Rift Herald means that he can go for that solo because now with the updated Rift Herald, she's much slower to turn. Yes, Rift Herald is female because Rift Scuttler is female and the Rift Herald is a mutated Rift Scuttler.
Yes.
But beside that, yeah, one of those champions that can opt for that solo Rift Herald.
Oh, looks like Hong trying to make something. Will GC be actually able to get the kill? Orf, sorry, does not connect.
Oh, man. That's going to be Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Will they get some value off of it? Oh, Sonic Wave misses.
A lot of misses, a lot of hits and misses here, but still no kills just yet in that little skirmish in that mid lane right there.
It is going to be some control over this mid lane with Skype having to back off.
Oh no, looks like more action is happening. Akinos actually manages to get the Lantern to save his life, but Hong actually being allowed that equalizer or managing to get a kill onto Hong right there. Looks like that is going to be 1 kill for Adam.
And that is going to be the Rift Herald summon from the void.
Oh,
look
no.
at how, just look at this. There's no words that need to be said here. Once she charges in.
Yowza.
But of course, with the range that UC has, they might be able to destroy her before he reaches the second turret. Yeah, that's just 1 turret from Adamson. For Adamson, not really a lot of value gain. Not the best way to use the USL,
Exactly.
but it's always nice to see the charge into the turret. But still, I like how Orf positioned himself there. Denying, trying to deny the Lantern with a Dragon's Rage and able to get that damage off onto Hong, which allows him to confirm the kill.
There you go, 6 and 9 on our scoreboard right now, and Adams is showing up definitely much more stronger. University of Cordilleras definitely has to play this game a little bit more smarter if they really want to make things happen for them.
Seems like that is the case. It's just going to be a reset here for the mid lane just for now, but the next big fight will definitely be around this Mountain Drake. Very important for these two teams, especially for Sky. If he can free hit those turrets with that Mountain Drake, it's going to be easier siege for them. But of course, it seems like Vision and the territory will be controlled on the side of
That's going to be an example. Twisted Arrow connecting. Mom actually will be able to escape, though very low health, and of course that is going to be Orf getting. Will be able to get the kill though, but here we go. That's a different story happening right here as ADU could seek to reinitiate, trying to seek some
Equalizer's up.
But wow. Fortunately, that's going to be the equalizer. Might be a little bit too late though. Gets the kill. Still, two members of University of Cordilleras down. Looks like ADU might not be done just yet, but very well played, Adamson University.
Yeah, but I don't really think Dazai's equalizers have been really contributing to the team that much. Could have done a lot more damage.
No, Akinos actually goes in, but forced to flash away. That is still a lot of damage coming from Adamson University. Take note, that is Infernal Drake on top of the damage that they're dealing.
Clearing these waves pretty easily, while on the other hand, it's going to be Orf soloing that Mountain Drake. Yep, that's going to be the Mountain Drake. Very efficient, Adamson, with their time. They know that Orf can just solo that Mountain Drake. Won't do much in the siege there in mid lane because he doesn't have Dragon's Rage, so they just opt to split the team and then put the turret down to half health. That's good enough for Adamson. But really, if they're going to win more of these team fights late game, more decisively, more clearly, Dazai needs to learn how to use the Equalizer.
Exactly.
Because coming into these team fights, the Equalizer's off cooldown, and they're already in a position where the Equalizer would help his team a lot. But he's just using it when they're trying to escape, and that's not how you use it. That's not how you optimally use it when a team fight starts.
It's actually a good point that you brought up, because that being said, if you're going to look at those fights where Dazai releases the Equalizer a little bit too late, these are clashes that, sure, Adamson University does come up on top, but it could have been so much better, and it would have been much more definitive had Dazai been stepping up with these Equalizers. Seems like
Still going to be manifesting into a 3.8k goal lead for Adamson University. Still, if that's actually huge, because right now UC hasn't reached the point where they can scale up, and right now they're pretty vulnerable to Adamson's really in-your-face team composition here.
This will be interesting, though. Adamson University, will they make something out of this, though? That is going to be Enchanted Crystal Arrow actually up now for Simone. So it's actually up to Adamson University. Will they be... I'm really liking how they're playing this. Again, this is a different Adamson. Somewhat similar to the trend that Malayan College's Laguna showed earlier, where it's totally tricky. But Enchanted Crystal Arrow attempt, not quite connecting, but that's a lot of damage. Going on to Skype right there. Hung might actually be the casualty, forced to flash away, but here comes Teleport coming from Mom. This might actually get messy, or getting the kill on to Skype, though that does. A lot of members of UC, very low health. That's going to be unstoppable for GC. Mom might be the next casualty. Only Aquinos and Cry, only remaining members right here. Cry will be next. 4 members of UCC down. Still, there was the will to live, but that is going to be the double kill. Wow, again, ADU coming out on top, and this may be the Baron for them.
Of course, that was quite a messy fight, but in the end, because University of Cordilleras was separated, Adamson just jumps on them and is able to block them off. I still don't like how Equalizer was using that fight, but still, that does get them possibly this Baron. Aquinos does have his smite up. He can go for this.
Will he be going in, though? Gets actually... The cast actually deals quite a bit of
damage, yeah. So that's going to be the 50-50 here.
Oh
like,
no, this might actually go bounce way too fast for Aquinos, though. With the fail, him goes down, gets the shutdown.
Was not even able to get a smite out.
Oh man, this is not looking good for University of Cordilleras. They're faltering quite a bit in this game. That being said, Adamson University with this Baron buff, it's just going to make them all the more stronger, going to push a lot more aggression, and University of Cordilleras definitely needs to start picking up the slack.
Yeah, they have Mountain Drake, they have Infernal Drake. The next fight that Ado gets, they will be in the lead, and after they win that, the turrets will just go down very quickly. But University of Cordilleras side, they can still get back in this game. Of course, they're behind 8k, but And how slow their composition is, it's going to be very difficult. Because their win condition here is to try and get Cry and Mob to scale up. And then they can just fearlessly go in, no problem, get so much healing from the Grand Challenge and the Transfusion. But right now, because they're so vulnerable, Orf can just style on them here.
Will
Let's
Mob and Orf be going for this 1v1 though? It looks like that is going to be the case. 1v1 indeed, but looks like this might actually go south for Mob quite fast as Orf actually manages to get the kill, and unstoppable he is.
Really faltering here. Because their job is to scale up. Here, they're not doing their jobs very well. Mob out of position, gets taken out by Orf, trying to duel him when there's really no vision for them, which allows Adamson to just get this bot lane push. 0, 1, and 4 configuration here for this split push. And really, Adamson's just been taking advantage of UC's mistakes.
And the problem here is that this is very different for UC in the sense that we've seen a lot of restraint from them during the first 3 games, but here in Game 4 there's a lot of impatience, which technically has been resulting to a lot of deaths on their end. So Adamson University actually playing this really well in the sense that they're capitalizing on all the mistakes that UC is making. If not the mistakes, then these great pickoffs that they're able to make.
Seems like University, and it's the composition as well. It takes longer for UC's composition to get their power spike. So now Adamson is taking advantage of that by just fearlessly going for their sieges. And actually going for their fights when they can. Let's get the Cry getting chunked down. He does have the transfusion to get back up to speed. Has to recall though.
I'm actually surprised that Zai, part of the fight, could have, especially since they have the Baron buff, and he does have teleport up, could have been pressuring other lanes. Exactly. And here we go.
This is a good opportunity to use Equalizer. Choke point.
Oh no, this might actually go very dirty. Shutdown onto Orf right here. That is going to be the godlike sign for GC right there. It looks like Adamson University not quite done yet, as they look like looking to get this inner bot turret.
Seems like that's going to be 2 deaths here. Only Orf down for Adamson. They still have their AD carry. They can easily go for this bot lane turret with their empowered minions, going for an inhibitor as well.
It's going to go a long way for them with that inhibitor down.
They're just going to go south, and with Mount Break coming up, it's going to be an easy rotation, easy decision for Adamson to just get to that objective very quickly. And wow, that was an opportunity for Dazai to go for the Equalizer, but he went for the Zhonya's instead, and that could have been such a bigger fight for University of Cordilleras. Of course, I'm not rapping on him this much, but it's really the optimal use of the Equalizer. I haven't seen it very well in this team, and the rest of his team has been compensating for that with how ahead they are. Look at Jizzy, 7-0 and 9. It's huge. 6-2 and 4 Lee Sin. He's gonna fall off much later because of how ahead he is. And 3-3 and 10, Simone, being that utility AD carry, gets a lot of assists while still dealing so much damage. Executioner's calling as well to shut down any healing from UC. But all of this could have been much quicker for Adamson University if they had optimal Equalizer.
This is what actually one of the things I discussed with Emperor Sports when assessing games, wherein sure you can have this fantastic lead. 8-20, that's absolutely insane.
Plus, 12K gold lead too.
Exactly. But that being said, sure you could have what seems to be a stellar game, but there will always be mistakes which should have been improved on, and this is a classic example right here. Adamson University, clearly amazing lead that they have right now, but still, there are so many ways they could have polished it to make it all the more definitive in terms of this victory.
Orf has been playing it very cleanly. Jizzy as well, no death. And all of Enchanted Crystal arrows coming from Simone have been on point, taking away more than one person. And for so long this time as well. But Equalizer follow-up, I really need to see it to be convinced that Adamson can take more wins. And of course, that's going to be the search and win link for our viewers. Just fill up the form completely. If you're the first to answer the trivia question correctly, you will get that mystery gift in a few working days. But of course, it's going to be just UC trying to survive here with an 11K gold deficit. Adamson is just going to continue trying to choke them out here with one inhibitor down. If they get another, it might be too hard for UC.
Indeed. And it looks like Dazai is starting to get this push on in the top lane right here, as of course there's definitely this pressure, Bob forced to have to take care of this bot lane super minion push. But yeah, it looks like ADU wanting in potentially on this mid inhibitor.
They are splitting their team quite effectively with Orf. Just wait, they know that Orf can't really do much in terms of the siege. So he just has him between top lane and mid lane, waiting around the wing, see if he can get a good pick off with the Dragon's Rage.
Wow. So, yeah. Actually, good on UC. You know, they're trying to prolong this as long as they can. Try to fend off ADU's aggressive here. Like, you know, taking a lot of damage. That's really an enchanted Crystal Arrow. The Orb actually goes way in too deep, but very, very dangerous. GC actually follows up, but that's going to be Orb down. But still, a lot of members of UC actually very low. That's going to be Hong and Gold trying at the same time. ADU going to be continuing double kill for GC right there. Will it make it the triple? Not exactly. That's going to be the shutdown though. But ADU coming off strong. Cry and Hong, the only remaining members, very low on health. This may potentially be the game. ADU pushing hard on these Nexuses. Will Cry and Hong be able to fend this? That is the question. Oh no, this might be it, ladies and gents. Will Adamson University prevail in this game? Cry and Hong now at full health will try to defend. Dazai frontlining, gets the teleport on. Will Force actually tried to get him into the base, but I don't think that'll be enough though. ADU coming out strong. This is going to be the game. Congratulations, Adamson University.
Making it a 1-1. Both teams get, so that means Group B is so close. We were pegging that Group A might be the death group because they have like a lot of like really familiar names, really powerful names here. But it seems like Group B is no slouch.
Indeed.
Everyone here has just been so equal in terms of how they play, how they fight. It's 1-1 for everyone. 1 point for most of the teams here just yet.
Still though, I mean, sure, we did not necessarily estimate them to be the group of death, but that being said, it could also be because the playing field for all these teams are equal,
Yeah, it's
which is
more
why we're seeing
even
such
here.
close games. But that being said, you know, still, Group B, they still have to show up strong because we haven't really seen anything stellar. Sure, we've seen great plays, but I wouldn't say something up to par just yet to the other teams in the other groups. So they still definitely have a lot to learn, even through the victories.
All
or
of
the
these teams
defeats.
have potential, though.
Exactly.
If they get out of the Interconference into the semifinals, all of these teams have potential. I like UC's mind games. I like how Adamson's experience being able to get that first seed decision making. I like how MCL plays their draft, plays their macro. All of these teams have potential, but they really need to make them shine. Polish it and make it shine. So once they get out, if any of these get out of the semifinal, they'll have a better chance against the Group A seed.
Yeah, but oh my goodness, ladies and gents, 1-1s across the board. When we come back, it is going to be Game 5. We'll just have to see if will we finally see that curse somewhat-ish broken. Will we see a 2-0? Maybe, just maybe. We'll just have to find out later. Of course, we have been your casters. This has been Arctic at your service, and with me as Atlas. Stay tuned as we'll be right back with the Local Agent League powered by Lenovo.
Equalizer. Choke point.
Oh no, this might actually go very dirty. Shutdown onto Orb right here. That's going to be the godlike sign for GC right there. It looks like Adamson University not quite done yet as they look like looking to get this inner bot turret. And the Crystal Arrow. The Orb actually goes way into deep, but very, very dangerous. GC actually follows up, but that's going to be Orb down. But still, a lot of members of GC actually very low. That's going to be Hong and Gold trying at the same time. Maybe you're going to be continuing double kill for GC right there. Will it make it the triple? Not exactly. That's going to be the shutdown though. But ADU coming off strong. Cry and Hong, the only remaining members, very low on health. This may potentially be the game. ADU pushing hard on these Nexuses. Will Cry and Hong be able to defend this? That is the question. Oh no, this might be it, ladies and gents. Will Adamson University prevail in this game? Cry and Hong now at full health will try to defend. Dazai frontlining, gets the teleport on. Will Force actually trying to get him into the base, but I don't think that'll be enough though. ADU coming out strong. This is going to be the game. Congratulations, Adamson University.
Making it a 1-1. Both teams.
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.